Whitney has been really delivering this season, and I feel like we're seeing an interesting transition in her character. Across franchises, there's a lot of women who serve as a voice of reason, like a relatively neutral party who can move the story along. And those I think are like crucial characters on a Housewives cast, but by comparison, I think Whitney is taking on a little bit more of like a sage character. The conversation, for example, between Whitney and Bronwyn on the most recent episode was refreshing, not just because it was like so honest and so real, but Whitney was absolutely the right person for Bronwyn to have this conversation with. And whatever the motivations that Bronwyn had for bringing this up, Whitney is ultimately validating Bronwyn in saying that the romantic element, or like the sanctity of monogamy, does not need to be the most important part of your marriage. Whitney is serving a similar role in that conversation that she has with Brittany at the plant shop. Whitney is effectively like holding up a mirror to Brittany saying like, is this the person you want to be? Is this the mother that you want to be? She puts her hands on her towards the end. She's like, I really need you to understand how serious this is with your daughters. She wants Brittany to make her own decision, but she wants Brittany to like really think about that decision. I think there's been times on previous seasons where Whitney has, I think, been mislabeled as a pot stirrer. I don't think it's that she wants to stir the pot or she wants to like create drama. I think Whitney, in her healing journey, in her healing journey, she is ultimately interested in truth. Tell me if I'm misremembering, but I think the only time we've really seen Whitney like heated this season is at Lisa's legal luncheon, whatever that was. And even then, what was getting Whitney so heated at that luncheon was what she perceived to be Lisa misrepresenting herself. The one time we've seen Whitney confronted this season, I think, was this scene with Meredith on the yacht. Meredith is upset that Whitney was involved in a conversation with Brittany just concerning rumors about Meredith and her husband. Whitney's response to this confrontation is not that she was like participating or encouraging the conversation, but rather that she gave Brittany options for how she could proceed with Meredith. Same sort of situation. Whitney is not telling anyone what to do. She's certainly influential, but she wants people to make their own decisions. I think beyond these like sage characteristics being the product of this healing journey being further along, I do also think there could be a generational component to the way that Whitney represents herself like so fully, and she wants to really like take charge of how she's represented. Like the very first scene of this show is Whitney's vow renewal. She talks about meeting her husband while she's married to someone else, while he's her boss. For all of her faults, all of her challenges, Whitney has always been very serious in how she is represented on television. We see some of this with Bronwyn too, that Bronwyn wants to get ahead of things. She is very transparent with the women. She would rather be the one breaking news about herself. We see this across franchises too, where like younger cast members are just more willing to like get ahead of things. There's this understanding that on reality TV, everything will come out. So while Whitney has been giving more advice to other cast members one-on-one, the unspoken like underlying thing to all of this is things will come out. Make your own decisions, but like really think hard about those decisions. And if you're in Denver, join us for the Beverly Hills premiere watch party. It's at Federales December 4th. I have more info on my pinned video.